Hello, everyone, and welcome to the annual and regular meetings of the Urban Redevelopment Authority of Pittsburgh Board of Directors. Thank you for joining us. My name is Sushila Nimani-Stanger. I'm the URA's Executive Director. I'm happy to kick off our first meeting of the year and welcome some new board members as part of our annual meeting. Our organization made tremendous progress last year in our efforts to advance inclusive growth across Pittsburgh, and I'm excited to continue working with our talented staff and board to continue this meaningful work in 2026. For anyone joining us virtually that needs sign language interpretation, please pin L. Brokenshire and Robin Schmidlin to your screen so you can access their services. I'm now going to turn it over to our board's Vice Chair, Council President, Daniel Lavelle, to begin the annual meeting.
Thank you, Director. I hereby call to order the annual meeting of the URA Board of Directors as our first order of business today. This is a required meeting under the URA's enabling legislation. Our first order of business is going to be to elect a new slate of directors, but first we have to do roll call. URA Zober.
Here.
Councilman Sharlin.
Here.
Director Williamson.
Here.
Director Powell. I am here, so let the record reflect that all board members are present. Our next order of business will be to elect a new slate of directors, and I will take the privilege of nominating URA Zober as board chair, myself as vice chair, and Councilperson Bob Sharlin as the treasurer. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The new slate of directors has been confirmed. With that, I will now turn it over to our new board chair.
Thank you,
Mr. Zober.
Thank you.
Actually, sorry. We got to adjourn first, the annual meeting.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Yeah.
You want to adjourn it?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Catherine Murray. I'm the Director of Government Affairs. Members of the public have the opportunity to provide public comment of the URA Board of Directors agenda items for in-person, virtually, or in writing. Registration is required to receive time to have public comment here at the board. Registration opens at 2 p.m. Tuesday of the board meeting, closes at 1 p.m. the day of the meeting, and written comments that are submitted before 1 p.m. the day of the meeting are included in board members' packets. This is public comment just pertaining to our annual meeting. We've not received any public comment related to our new election of the officers, but I want to open it to anyone who wants to make public comment now. Okay, well, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, we'll adjourn our annual meeting and move into our regular meeting.
Thank you, Councilman.
Chairman.
Thank you, Councilman, Vice Chair, Chairman Lavelle. For those who don't know me, I'm URA Zober. I'm Director of Redevelopment for the City of Pittsburgh under Mayor Corey O'Connor. I'm excited to join you all today. Some of you may know that I've been here before, this building, maybe not this room, but I was with the URA as its chair several years ago for about a period of 7.5 years. In that capacity, I got to work with so many of you, in this room that either means that we did a good job or there's a lot more work to do, probably a little bit of both. There's some people here who I haven't had an opportunity to work with, like Representative Powell, and I look forward to working with you. There's one person I want to mention who isn't in this room, but for me will always be in this room, and that's State Senator Councilman Jim Furlow, who I had the pleasure of serving with on that URA board for 8 years. And I don't know exactly how I'm going to do URA stuff without him, but I'm sure we'll figure it out somehow. I want to welcome Councilman Bob Sharlin to the board. This is his first time here at the URA, but he's done amazing work in the South Side. And with him being on this board, he's going to be able to do even more amazing work, not just on the South Side, but throughout the city. Mayor O'Connor has a real vision for growth for the city and of community engagement and inclusive growth in neighborhoods across the city. Downtown gets mentioned a bunch, but there's room for growth in neighborhoods from the north, south, east, and west. And I hope that working together, we can do it in a meaningful and inclusive way that really is people-focused, where all stakeholders are engaged, and we really make those transformative moves that most people inside this room and outside this room are expecting us to make. That's a big honor for all of us in a way, and it's an even bigger obligation. But I do know that all of us working together and with the people of the city of Pittsburgh under Mayor O'Connor's leadership, we can get that done. So thank you all for being here today, for all the work you've done today and for all the work you're going to do in the future, including some of you who are already being driven crazy with requests for maps and stuff as we embark on a pretty exciting time in Pittsburgh's history. With that said, let's gavel in. I hereby call to order the regular January meeting of the URA Board of Directors. Roll call, Vice Chairman Lavelle.
Here.
Treasurer Charlin.
Here.
Director Williamson.
Here.
State Representative and Director Powell. Let the record reflect that all board members are present and accounted for. Next, we'll move into the approval of the regular URA Board meeting minutes from December 11th, 2025. Can I get a motion?
So move.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? The minutes are approved. I just want to note for the record that there was an executive session that took place before today's meeting. That was an executive session on January 8th. Any comments on that? I don't think so.
No.
So let's move on. And with that, we turn to the Executive Director of the URA, Sushila Mangi-Stenger.
Thank you, Chairman Zober. We'll move into public comment for the January portion of our meeting. I'll turn it back over to Catherine Murray, Director of Government Affairs and Strategic Initiatives, to facilitate.
Thank you, Sushila. We did not receive any public comment in writing or virtually today. But again, I want to open it up. If anybody wants to make public comment now on our January board agenda, we'd welcome you up to the podium. Maybe I'll sing a song next time. Well, thank you all. This concludes our public comment period.
Thank you, Director Murray. Moving on, we have a handful of announcements. Love to start with the first one, which is a welcome to our new mayoral appointees. We have a slide for that. Great. Okay. All right. So we did some of this, but just want to welcome Chairman Zober, Chairperson Charland, and Majestic Lane will be joining the URA on Tuesday, January 20th, as URA's Deputy Executive Director and Chief Strategy Officer. We look forward to working with all of you and really appreciate you bringing your expertise to our team. Moving on. We do have a few announcements, and for this, I will turn it over to Leah Matthews.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leah Matthews. I'm a Senior Project Manager in the Development Services Department. Today, I'm here to announce that we will be issuing a request for proposals seeking a qualified urban design or landscape architecture firm to lead the development of a district-wide art and lighting initiative in downtown Pittsburgh. Proposals will be due in March. I'll take any questions.
Will the lighting plan follow some of the standards that we've been recognized for globally in trying to diminish some of the light pollution that we've been recognized for?
So the goal is to basically create a study to make sure that we're kind of in compliance and taking care of those concerns. So the RFP will produce a study that we can implement that will address things like that. Yes.
Thank you, Leah. Next announcement. We have Donita Thomas joining us.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to members of the board. My name is Donita Thomas. I'm president of Pittsburgh Economic and Industrial Development Corporation, or PIDC, as that is a mouthful, an affiliate of the URA focused on industrial and commercial redevelopment here in the city. Today, I'm here to announce that the URA will be requesting proposals to determine feasibility of a sole restaurant concept and related architecture and engineering services for the Mellon Square storefronts on Smithfield Street here in downtown Pittsburgh. The RFP will be issued in February 2026 via Ion Wave. Proposals will be due in March, and there will be a site visit for contractors to allow them the opportunity to survey the condition. I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody has about the project.
Thank you, Donita.
Thank you.
And our last announcement for today, we have David DiBernardo. Hi, David.
Good afternoon. My name is David DiBernardo. I am the manager of the Residential Lending Department. Today, we are announcing a for-sale development program funding round. The for-sale development program offers grants, for the rehabilitation and new construction of single-family homes, which are to be sold to home buyers earning at or below 80% of the Pittsburgh area median income. These homes must then remain affordable for a period of 15 to 99 years, depending on the funding source. This program has been accepting applications on a rolling basis, and in 2026, we are moving the application process to 2 funding rounds per year. All applications submitted outside of these funding rounds will not be accepted. I do want to note for the board members today that you will be presented with the final for sale development program board agenda item to advance using this rolling application process. Any projects that have not yet been received by the URA or have not yet received URA board authorization will need to reapply in an upcoming funding round for consideration. The first application funding round will open on February 2nd and will close on February 27th. From there, the URA staff will review the projects and select the awardees based on the project feasibility, community impact, and adherence to other requirements outlined in the for sale development program guidelines linked on the program webpage. If you have a shovel-ready project that is in need of the final piece of its capital stack, please look for the application on the URA's for sale development program webpage beginning on February 2nd and submit your application with all required attachments by 4 p.m. on February 27th. You may email residentialdevelopment@ura.org with any questions about this program or this funding round. I'd now be happy to take any questions the board members may have.
What's the up to amount?
Per project, or you may receive up to $100,000 grant for a rehabilitation project per unit and up to $130,000 per new construction. Per unit of new construction. Yeah.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
This takes us into the main agenda for us. We have 3 really exciting items today. So we'll start with development services. And for that item, I will turn it over to Chief Development Officer Tom Link.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Sushila. Thank you, Chairman Zober, members of the board, folks in the public are here watching and here in person today. Again, I'm Tom Link. I'm the URA's Chief Development Officer. Excited to present this item related to a proposed downtown TRID. A TRID is an acronym for Transit Revitalization Investment District for our downtown. We are excited to present this as a continuation of our work, really to revitalize our downtown as to be the most viable place that it can possibly be, a bellwether for economic opportunity and growth for our city and for our region. So the authorizations here advance evaluation, structuring, and creation of the proposed downtown TRID and a TRID implementation plan. If I can take a beat just to describe what TRID is, because I know that it may be obvious to me, but it's important, I think, just to talk a bit about what TRID is. So TRID is a value capture mechanism that allows for the capitalization of a portion of future incremental tax revenue. I'd say generally largely real estate taxes from real estate development projects within a defined geographic boundary, and then reinvesting those captured portion of future tax revenue into projects, TRID eligible projects such as public infrastructure, public realm improvements, business district improvement projects, economic development, new housing, and more. It's a local tool. It's born locally. It's something that's a powerful tool that we can use locally to leverage private and public investment to complete projects that, but for a TRID, would not happen otherwise. The proposed downtown TRID is contemplated, and there's a map, I think, on a slide here. The proposed downtown TRID is contemplated to include our central business district, a portion of the North Shore and Strip District as a value capture area, with the central business district as the proposed TRID investment area. There are 3 existing, I should note this, there are 3 existing tax increment financing or TIF districts within this value capture area. And it's important to note that these would not be included in the value capture because they're obviously existing value captures for TIFs. And just to kind of be very clear up front, because this question has come up in side conversations, The Manchester Chateau TRID, which of course came through this board and through public actions last year, is not within this CAPS area, although it does border the proposed TRID boundary. So today's authorizations allow the URA professional staff to engage with third-party professionals to assist with this analysis and structuring. It also authorizes and allows our professional staff to engage with our partners at the three taxing bodies, the city of Pittsburgh, of course, Allegheny County, and of course, the Pittsburgh Public Schools, and as this would be a TRID with Pittsburgh Regional Transit. For the public and for the board's awareness, a final downtown TRID implementation plan would be brought back to this board in the future ask for adoption, and which then would allow for setting forth a process to engage in formal legislative processes with the three taxing bodies that I just mentioned, and of course, a cooperation agreement. So that's a long way of saying folks will see this again. Just a quick note on what an implementation plan is. A TRID plan details a TRID boundary, which I've just described here, pledged real estate parcels, potential financing yield of a TRID, the uses of funds for a TRID, and other terms and mechanisms, including schedules, et cetera, that would be germane to sort of the execution of a financing plan for a TRID implementation plan. Also want to note this is a first step in a downtown TRID process, but is a continuation of a multi-year effort that's been going on to think about how we can continue our efforts to revitalize downtown. It will build off and is a continuation of the recommendations of the 2024 Downtown Revitalization Plan, which specifically called for this type of action to create sustainable funding sources. We will also call on the existing work and robust stakeholder engagement and thought processes that have gone into the execution of the PRT's University Line Rapid Transit Line. ULI did a recent study downtown in partnership with Point Park and other studies that have been done to inform the full implementation plan. So with that, what are the actual authorizations? I won't read these in full, but the first authorization is to engage the three taxing bodies as to this plan. The next three authorizations are to engage with individual third-party professional services. So Jones Lang LaSalle, Cozen O'Connor, and Clark Hill to help us with specific efforts to help analyze and structure the plan. We'd also like authorization to issue a request for proposals, RFP, for TRID management services, as well as a request for proposal for advisory services and bond underwriting services for a potential TRID bond financing. I will say the cost of these things would all be borne through an eventual bond issuance. So frankly, this is all at risk to folks until such time there would be an issuance of debt, which would create a pool of capital to reimburse for these costs. There are folks here from the firms that I mentioned: Jeff Mills with Cozen O'Connor, Kristen Erickson with Clark Hill, and Nick Okovic with Jones Lang LaSalle is here, just for everyone's information. That concludes my report. Thank you, and certainly happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. I'll just thank you.
No,
That was
please,
super thorough. I just want to quickly add that, when in 2024, when we announced our local investment strategy for downtown, we outlined the need for long-term sustainable and predictable funding source to invest in downtown. And we need that over the next couple of decades to really strengthen downtown's economic vitality. And our team and others have explored a number of different mechanisms to help reposition the real estate market. With residential and commercial development, we advanced the by right tax abatement. With the county and the school district and the city enhanced their existing abatement tool. It helped some projects move across the finish line, but we truly need something more. In November 2024, we submitted a full TIFIA application to the DOT. We've had a few follow-up meetings with the DOT staff at the federal level, but have not secured significant capital from the federal government in regards to TIFIA. So, with the downtown LRTA expiring in a year, and all of the downtown conversion funding obligated, the creation of this downtown TRID plan is the continuation of our progress and an important next step in advancing our local strategy to spur additional investment downtown. And so I just want to thank our team and the mayor's office. And, we continue to remain committed and engaged to help with this long-term initiative. So I will turn it over to the board for any questions and comments.
This is exciting, but I definitely have some questions as someone who represents the Strip District side. If you could go back to the value capture area, a few questions about that. Questions if there's going to be any bifurcation between the value capture area that oversees the Strip District versus downtown.
We're in the initial phases of studying this, but the initial concept is that we would look to capture value from the North Shore and Strip District projects that are contemplated, and we would be looking for that value capture to invest in the downtown central business district.
Right. But as we're considering what this looks like, I would like to keep afloat the ability to hold back some of that value capture for the Strip that's being generated in the Strip as well. I mean, my concern would be, as we're seeing, I think this opens up a lot of possibilities. And I know that this is very much your expertise, Director, more so than mine, but I think that there are a lot of opportunities to expand on some of the ideas that we have on riverfront transit, and obviously all of the other investments that we see on the housing side that's booming in the Strip District. I think one thing that I would like to continue to keep afloat is how we can make sure that, obviously, if downtown does well, then all of our neighborhoods, all of Pittsburgh does well. But being conscientious that there are critical needs that the Strip District has that could be remedied and begin to be rectified with some of this value capture. So I just don't want all of our opportunity and value to go to one portion of this TRID outline.
Thank you.
And not to monopolize on those lines too. I know that from my understanding of TRID districts, obviously there is an opportunity to boost and buoy existing transit. Could you talk a little bit about for, say, the scores of plans that we have again in the Strip for riverfront travel, for bike front, for river trail, for the river trail, how that could be leveraged for those projects and investments as well?
Yeah, I'll start. I mean, so some of this is in process now. I think we have to catalog, and we're in the process, frankly, of doing that now. Sort of the variety of public infrastructure and transit related projects that are in place and may be coming online or could be in place if funding were available to advance them across the district. The goal generally with TRID, I would say, is that it's not meant to be a tool that can pay for the whole thing, right? Like if it's a project that needs, okay, the whole thing needs to be paid for by TRID, but where there are opportunities where with TRID financing could provide, I would say, probably on two different sides of the spectrum. One would be a seed investment to get design, engineering, planning underway to allow an infrastructure project to move forward is one way to think about it. On the other end of the spectrum would be, boy, this project could get done if we had the last piece of financing available to complete the project. So that's where we are in process now, but that's something we need to evaluate and make sure that we include and capture in the full implementation plan, which of course would be fully vetted through a variety of this board and others to make sure. Yep. Yeah, thanks.
So I just want to, I guess, ask the question in a slightly different way. So what we're not doing right here today is deciding like what percentage of future tax increments would go into a downtown reinvestment district, right?
I agree with you.
That's outlined in yellow, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So in theory, we could come up with a plan that says, for the catchment area, a new building built in the Strip District, if it takes the assessed property value from $0 in property taxes per year to $1 million a year, a quarter of that would go to the TRID district, and the rest goes to the general funds, or some of it even potentially goes to public realm infrastructure improvements in the neighborhood that where the development is happening, something like that, correct? Like that, those decisions are not being made here today.
That's correct. You're,
Agreed.
you're allowing us to engage with the taxing bodies, with other partners, and allowing us to study this
Yeah.
with subject matter experts like the consultants we've identified.
Can you speak for a moment about the timeline so people can have a good understanding? This is a first step in a very, very long journey on every front. But everybody should be aware of what the timeline should be so that then we know when to make those decisions with all the meaningful input from everybody here, and more importantly, everybody who's not here.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, so absolute timelines are not defined yet, but they would be in the full implementation plan. In my experience, and certainly thinking about the Manchester Chateau trade, it's probably at least a year of various public processes and public input before you have a final plan, and certainly a financing. I would say for this, it's going to take at least, again, I'm providing my experience and what I think a schedule could look like. Probably at least 6 months to get through a legislative process. Before we do any of that, though, we're back at this board table. And to your question, Director, things like, the tax diversion rates, like, how much of it's being diverted, the value of those rates, the pledged parcels and the specific uses of funds, all of that gets enumerated in detail in the plan that would be considered here first, frankly, before it gets fully considered through the taxing body legislative processes.
So thank you. Just a general comment. First, I just want to thank the staff for pushing this forward and continuing to keep us focused on downtown revitalization. The sort of COVID created crisis, sorry for the alliteration, of declining office use and occupancy, and the associated decline in real estate value, and the therefore associated decline in property tax revenue, all of which are a crisis not just for the city, but also for the school district and the county, and really the entire regional economy, which depends on downtown Pittsburgh to be sort of a thriving economic engine of our region. Are not unique to Pittsburgh, but are all like challenges that like we have to figure out how to address and resolve if we're gonna rebuild an economy that like protects jobs and works for everyone. And we need more money in order to do that, as Sushila said in her opening statement. So coming up with creative ways to help ensure that we're making the not just the investments in catalytic development projects, but also in like public realm improvements that make downtown more accessible and more livable and more walkable, and a better place to live and work, will pay dividends, not just for downtown, but for the entire region. And when we get there, that means that like the school district, the county, and even folks even beyond really have a vested interest in making sure that like, that we don't just like vote on this and put a plan forward, but that we can actually realize and implement that plan. So anyway, this is a great step in another step in the right direction for downtown Pittsburgh.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Entertain a motion.
No, a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
A second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, staying in development services, but moving on to a new item. Have Tracy Brindle here. Hi, Tracy.
Good afternoon. I'm Tracy Brindle from the URA Real Estate Team, and we are requesting authorization for Elmhurst Technology Drive LP to change the use of Phase 1 of the Elmhurst Innovation Center at 709-775 Technology Drive from a mix of office and technology space, flexible technology space, to a school use, and to enter into a lease with the Environmental Charter School. Elmhurst Development purchased this parcel from the URA in 2021 and completed core and shell work for the 80,000 square foot Phase 1 in late 2022. The building remains vacant due to the high ratio of office to high bay flex tech space in the post-pandemic era. Environmental Charter School has shown interest in leasing the building for its middle and high school program, expecting up to 650 students to utilize this future campus. They plan to move into the facility in the summer of 2027 and to be operational here for the 2027-2028 school year. The property will remain taxable. The preliminary budget for the tenant build-out is $21.2 million. Due to the covenants in the deed, Elmhurst needs permission from the URA to change the use to a school use and to enter into lease negotiations with a tenant that is not an office or flex tech user. The new use will also require a zoning change. Brian Miller from Elmhurst is here today, and I'm sure he'll be happy to answer any specifics about the build-out or the potential lease. Thank you. Is Brian here?
Yeah.
Oh, come on up. Hi. Brian.
Hi, Brian Miller with Elmhurst. Any questions?
Any questions, comments from the board?
I have a question, although it's probably not for you. Maybe it is, I don't know. This is not material to this, but I'm curious what they're gonna do with their existing building. ECF
Oh, well, that's not for me.
on Black Street, we know,
I'm-
like, is that gonna be, then have to be redeveloped somehow?
I can't, I have no clue what they're
They're,
gonna,
but they're moving, right? They're not creating an additional location?
right.
We can follow up with you on that.
Yeah. Anything further? Any other questions, comments, concerns? There being none, motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes our development section for our agenda. Moving on to housing. And for that housing item, we have Shayla Burrow. Shayla?
Good afternoon. My name is Shayla Burrow. I am a lending analyst in the residential lending department. I am here today seeking authorization to enter into a for-sale development program FSDP grant agreement for an amount of up to $200,000 with East Liberty Development Incorporated, ELDI, for the project known as Mayflower Renewal 2.0, which includes the units 157 and 163 Mayflower Street. The FSDP grant will be funded using 2023 Housing Opportunity Funds. This project is the renovation of 2 vacant single-family homes located in the Lorimer neighborhood of Pittsburgh. Revitalizing these vacant homes will help stabilize this neighborhood by decreasing the overwhelming number of vacant lots, producing quality affordable housing, and providing the opportunity to grow generational wealth for new homeowners. The developer for this project is East Liberty Development Incorporated, ELDI, a nonprofit developer with over 20 years of commercial and residential real estate experience in Pittsburgh's East End. ELDI has hired Main & Elm as a development consultant, which they also bring over 25 years of experience in real estate development, along with 30 years in construction management. The total development cost for this project is $934,136. Some of the funding sources include a $300,000 grant from Federal Home Loan Bank, a $100,000 battery died. Sorry about that, guys. A $114,136 fair grant from the Pittsburgh Housing Financing Agency, a $286,400 line of credit from West Banco, and a $20,800 equity investment from ELDI. 157 Mayflower Street will have 3 bedrooms, and 163 Mayflower Street will have 2 bedrooms. Each home will have 1.5 bedrooms. These homes will be sold to home buyers earning at or below 80% of the area median income AMI, which will remain affordable for 99 years. The sales price for these homes will be $140,000, $180,000, and will not require any backing support from the URA to the home buyer.
Apologies.
Could hear you, we could hear you.
Joining us today is the Director of Operations of ELDI, Ted Melnick, and Ted will be making a few remarks and will be available to answer any questions that the URA board may have. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. We've been working hard in the Larmer community. I met with Mr. Zober last week, and so Larmer has lots of vacant lots, and it also has lots of houses like this. We've taken about 12 to 15 houses over the last 2 years using Federal Home Loan Bank money, fair money, some of the stuff that Shayla talked about. These are some of the worst houses you're going to find in Larmer. They have been vacant for 20 to 25 years, and they need substantial rehabilitation. And people kind of choke on these prices. However, what we've discovered over the last couple of years is it's more expensive to build new. And these houses have a lot of character as well. So really the only way to make these work now in the Larmer neighborhood is to do subsidized housing, 80% affordable. And so we're pretty excited. We have just finished 177 Mayflower and sold that to a 50% AMI buyer about 2 months ago. 228 Mayflower is for sale. If anybody knows anybody's looking for a house, this would also be through Federal Home Loan Bank. It is gorgeous. I would love to show you before and after pictures. And these will be the same. These are going to turn out really nice. And just to appreciate the URA for years and years of support through FSDP, second mortgages and things like that. It's the only way we get these things done. And I'll take any questions if anybody has any. All right. Well, thank you.
Okay, do you-
Maybe people were shy. Any questions, comments, concerns? No, there being none. Motion to approve.
So move.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you so much for being here, and to you and ELDI for all the work you do. Hopefully we'll do a lot more of that in the years to come.
Okay, that takes us into our consent agenda. We will be seeing the consent agenda in its entirety on the screen. Are there any questions or comments from board members?
We'll do
Okay,
it.
okay. Hearing none, you can entertain a motion.
Okay, here, adjourning.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
you can entertain a motion and then we'll go on to disclosures.
Okay, all right, motion. Wait, where am I here? Sorry, this is my first day, guys.
That's okay. Yeah, so you can
Okay.
entertain a motion.
I'll entertain a motion to approve in its entirety.
So move.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? None? Motion carries.
Great, and then we'll just move on to the disclosures quickly. We just had one disclosure item. Okay, nothing to vote on the disclosures. I'll hand it back over to Chairman Zober for adjournment of the regular board meeting.
Thank you, Madam Executive Director. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned. Thank you so much. We are out of here. See you next month, everyone. Thank you.